Welcome to the Managing the Smart Mind podcast with your host, Coach Kramer. This is episode 49. Stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking this instead. Hello, fabulous smart human. This week's episode is a bit of a rant about something that I see happening with so many of my clients. They are repeating and amplifying abusive external voices to themselves without realizing it. Now, one of the challenges of having a smart mind is that people who don't know what it's like to have your brain think it's best for you to behave as if you had a standard issue brain, as if you were neurotypical. They're usually well-meaning, but they're measuring you against a stick that was never meant for someone like you. And then they'll write things in your report card like, if only she'd apply herself more. Needs to learn to be disciplined. Messy, unfocused, all over the place. Must learn to stay on task. If he doesn't stop daydreaming, he'll never pass. And all these messages to someone with your brain boiled down to one thing. You must change who you are to succeed in life. It's saying that the way you engage with learning, with creating, the way you manifest yourself isn't right, and that is why things are hard for you. And this is such a terrible lie, and something that cuts deeply into our self-confidence and self-worth. And if these messages aren't corrected, as we grow up, we internalize them and they get transformed into thoughts like, if only I could get my act together. Oh, come on. How hard can it be? This one is like, I even hear this like in my when I say this. Come on now, how can it be, Kramer? Right? Or I'm just always squandering all my opportunities. I'm just such a waste of space. And so on. Right? Again, perpetuating the idea that if only we were different, things would work out in our life. And so maybe we embark on a journey of self-improvement, right? We get all the books. We watched all the webinars. Now, I've talked about the dark side of this many times. There's even a podcast episode on this. I'll leave a link to it, the dark side of self-improvement. We try to be good. We try to be disciplined. We try to do things the way we're supposed to. We mask, we perform, we suppress. But even if we manage to pretend, this comes at a massive cost to our minds, to our well-being, to our bodies. We lose our joy, our energy, and eventually can become burnt out and very depressed. And all because we've bought into this lie that we need to be different to be okay, that we need to be like other people. But we can only always be who we are. So in order to become a well-adjusted, in air quotes, smart human, you need to stop perpetuating this internalized abuse. How? Okay, the first step, as always, is awareness. Start noticing the things you tell yourself on a daily basis, because you may not even be aware of all the mean things you're repeating to yourself. And even better, start writing them down. So you can actually see them on a page. And usually when you do that, you're like, oh my God, no wonder I feel like crap, if that's what's going on inside my head, right? And in episode 11, I give you some guidelines on how to do that. Now, even if you're looking at it, to you, they may seem like normal annotations, right? But when you see them on paper, imagine saying them to a young child or your best friend. Does it make you uncomfortable when you imagine that? Then you should not be saying them to yourself either. After this awareness, the second step is acknowledging that this type of language is not character building, but character destroying. It is hurtful. So once you've uncovered some nasty things you say to yourself on a regular basis, you want to try actually feeling that. You've kind of desensitized yourself to your own abuse, which was a good coping strategy probably growing up, but now we want to resensitize you so you can start noticing. So for example, when I say something to myself like, oh, I can't believe you let this opportunity slide, you'll never be successful this way, or I can't believe you made that mistake on the invoice. This is something I did this week, right? I mean, your admin is such a mess. You're just useless. Then the first step is to imagine saying that to someone I love and then notice the, oh my God, that is awful, right? The ouch. And then I will say to myself and notice my ouch, because this internalized critical voice is hurting me. And I want to acknowledge that. And no, in case you're worried, your brain is like telling you all sorts of things, this will not turn you into a wimp who can't take criticism. It's actually quite the contrary. It will help you build the capacity to risk criticism and then gracefully receive it. And it will help you set boundaries around abusive talk, whether external or internal. Okay, so you've found the sentence, maybe more than one, and you felt the ouch. Now, what's the next step? Because you don't want to leave yourself in that ouch. That is not constructive. So when you're feeling the ouch, you want to start taking care of yourself. After the ouch, you want to ask, what do I need right now? What will support me to move through this? And even if that feels better, you can ask it in the you form, right? Like, what do you need right now? What do you need right now? What will support you to move through this? In a really kind inner voice. And then you want to listen for the answer and give yourself what you need. Resource yourself, right? You can't just listen for the answer and then just say, can't have that. Sorry, bye. And you're just being abusive all over again. And sometimes what you need is acceptance of what's going on and some time to process your emotions. Sometimes you may need support and the courage to ask for it. Sometimes you need to be seen. And sometimes you may need the opposite, right? To be alone. And sometimes it may be something really simple, like, I just need a 10-minute break to go for a short walk and regroup. Whatever it is, this is the process. Uncover the thought. Feel the ouch. Ask what you need and then get the resource. So next time you're asking yourself, what the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why do I keep blah, blah, blah? Please pause. There is nothing wrong with you. But maybe there's something you need. Let's break the cycle of all that internalized abuse. You do not need to change into some better version of you. Instead, you want to learn to listen to your own needs, to start honoring them. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.